This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea. Dear listeners, now we start the English language service of Voice of Korea from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. We now present the immortal revolutionary paean, sung of General Kim Il-sung. Now you listen to immortal revolutionary paean, sung of General Kim Il-sung. You're listening to VOK, Voice of Korea. News now.
The program for socialist construction in the new era of the Workers' Party of Korea, which regards the great people first principle as the sacred political ideals and its outstanding and energetic guidance, continue to give birth to the most scientific and revolutionary strategies for great regional development and bring them to brilliant fruition in the course of the comprehensive development of our dignified state. The respected comrade Kim Jong-un, who worked out long ago a plan to improve the people's living standards as early as possible by making effective use of the sea in conformity with the natural and geographical features of the country with long coastlines, clearly indicate the orientation and ways for positively promoting and developing offshore fish farming and aquaculture, and has wisely led the work to put it into practice. Amid a stirring reality in which the struggle for implementing the historic regional development 20x10 policy is being waged dynamically, he had already given the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea a special instruction to take direct charge of and push forward with the work for setting an example to be followed by all coastal cities and counties to promote their development in a characteristic way as suited to their specific conditions by making the most effective use of marine resources. Through this special instruction, Sinpo in South Hamgyong Province, a typical coastal city with a small area under cultivation compared to its population, was set as a model for this year, and preparations had been made to this end. On July the 15th, Kim Jong-un, General Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea and President of the State Affairs of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, together with senior officials of the party and the government, visited the Pung-o-dong area in Sinpo, South Hamgyong Province, and looked round the site of an offshore farm to be built, acquainting himself with the project plan. He then convened a consultative meeting of officials concerned on the spot. Present there were Kim Do-kun, member of the Presidium of the Political Bureau of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea and Premier of the Cabinet, Cho Yong-won, Lee Il-hwan, Kim Jae-ryong, Park Tae-sung, and other secretaries of the Party Central Committee, Park Jong-gun, Vice Premier of the Cabinet and Chairman of the State Planning Commission, major commanding officers of the armed forces organs, and relevant officials in the province and in the design sector. Kim Jong-un presided over the meeting. The meeting discussed issues arising in building the Sinpo City offshore farm into a new fine model for shallow sea culture, generalizing it to bring about a substantial improvement in the economic development and the people's living standards in coastal cities and counties, and more dynamically pushing forward with the party's regional development policy. Referring to the purpose of the convening of the meeting, Kim Jong-un analyzed the economic potential of the seas and the importance and significance of their effective exploitation and use of their resources by the coastal cities and counties in successfully bringing about the epochal change in the 10-year revolution for the regional development, which has entered the full-scale phase of its implementation and set forth practical tasks and ways to this end. He stressed that developing and making good use of their natural and economic resources in regions is very important to secure the independence and driving force of the regional economic development, and furthermore, to develop the country's economic potentials in a unified and development-oriented way. He said that only when the regions create an atmosphere for balanced and competitive growth by building up the foundations for their independent and sustainable development in all the local areas, can the regional economy develop. And the more the regional economy develops, the greater the motive power of the overall economy will become, contributing to the strategic economic potential growth. The consultative meeting further data on the economic profits and effectiveness of the Sinpo City offshore farm. Kim Jong-un seriously analyzed the reasons why the party's policy on developing the regional economy by making good use of the mountains in mountainous areas and the sea in the coastal regions has not been implemented so far. He stressed that the policies consistently maintained by the party on narrowing the gaps between urban and rural areas in economic life can be implemented only when the state provides all the conditions and possibilities for economic growth in regions in a responsible manner, saying that if the scallop and kelp farming is conducted well in the waters of the Pungrodong area, the city of Sinpo, which is poor in economic potentials, can become the richest among the cities and counties in the country. In 3 to 4 years, he expressed his determination to successfully build up the Sinpo City offshore farm into a model of aquaculture in the new century and present it to the people in the city as a gift. He continued that it is the unique ties between the Workers' Party of Korea and the army, their most sacred tradition, and the decisive guarantee for victory in the revolution, that when the party leading the revolution plans any project, the army unconditionally carries it out, always holding it as an honorable historic mission. He entrusted the construction of the Sinpo City offshore farm to the Korean People's Army unit. He expressed expectation that the Korean People's Army, absolutely loyal to the party's ideas, leadership and orders, would successfully build a model of offshore farming to which the state attaches importance and present it to the party and the people as an outcome of its steadfast revolutionary stand and patriotic spirit. He stressed the need for relevant units to responsibly carry out the tasks assigned to them as regards the construction of the Sinpo City offshore farm. He instructed the Party Central Committee to set a creative example to be generalized and applied to other parts of the country by taking direct charge of the construction of the farm and powerfully and substantially pushing ahead with it. He also made sure that a division in charge of offshore farm construction was set up in the non-permanent committee for promoting the regional development 20x10 policy to exclusively supervise and guide the construction of aquaculture bases in other coastal cities and counties, pointing out that the layout of the farm submitted by the design sector was not worked out at a level appropriate to a model creation of the aquaculture industry in the new century. He stressed the need to conduct a sincere study in a more innovative manner and create a new one so as to make the construction of the farm another revolutionary stage of development in designing industrial facilities and indicate the orientation of designing. Like all other undertakings, the development of aquaculture should be based on scientific guarantee and calculation, along with proactive introduction of advanced technologies, he said, calling for giving priority to the selection of superior strains and paying primary attention to raising the scientific level to the maximum in the whole process, ranging from the management of the sea farming ground to the preservation of ecological environment. The consultative meeting took relevant measures after specifying practical tasks, including those for the senior city and county officials to comprehensively investigate the natural and geographical features and economic potentials of the regions under their charge and conduct a scrupulous study and organizational work to fully exploit them, to perfect the legal and institutional mechanisms to make the preferential measures for regional economic development prove effective, and to direct the efforts to training core technicians and skilled workers in all cities and counties. After the meeting, Kim Jong-un went round the waters for aquaculture by the farm. Learning about the shellfish farming underway on a trial basis, he said that the waters of the Pungrodong area are favorable for aquaculture in various aspects, including water quality, depth, and temperature. With his heart filled with deep emotion, he pictured in his mind the morrow of the simple citizens who will enjoy happiness along with a wonderful change in their region. Convinced of the sheer prospects of aquaculture and the possibility of its development, all the officials who took part in the consultative meeting in the presence of Kim Jong-un made a firm pledge to perform remarkable feats in the proudest and most worthwhile struggle by remaining true to their mission and duty in the struggle for placing the current new phase of regional development on a track of rapid promotion. The consultative meeting will be recorded in history as a crucial watershed that set up an epochal milestone for the regional economic development of our own style, and as today's Changsong Joint Conference that instilled into all the party members and other people stronger confidence in the creation of a new life and happiness.
The respected comrade Kim Jong-un sent a spread to So Su-gun, living in Suwangdong No. 1 of Pohang District in the city of Chongjin in North Hamgyong Province, on the occasion of her centenary birthday. In last plenary meetings of the party committees of the Ministry of Railways, the Ministry of Land and Maritime Transport, the Pyongyang Construction Commission, the State Academy of Sciences, the Ministry of Culture, and the Ministry of Physical Culture and Sports were held between the 11th and the 14th to implement the decisions of the 10th plenary meeting of the 8th Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. Present at the plenary meetings were members and alternate members of the party committees of those units. Also on hand as observers were officials concerned. The meetings analyzed and summed up the work for the implementation of the decisions of the 8th Congress of the Workers' Party of Korea and the 9th plenary meeting of the 8th Party Central Committee in the first half of the year, and seriously discussed the measures for carrying out the tasks for their sectors and units in the latter half of the year, on the basis of the guidelines of struggle clarified at the 10th plenary meeting of the 8th Party Central Committee. The meetings heard reports and speeches. Kim Yoo-sung, Deputy Department Director of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, made public a press statement at 10 o'clock on July the 16th. The statement reads, "Found again in the southern border as an in-depth area of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea at dawn and in the morning of July the 16th were 29 large-sized balloons sent by the SCOM of the Republic of Korea. They were aggregated 10 in Cheonan County, 8 in Sinpyeong County, 5 in Icheon County, 4 in Pangyo County, 1 in Kujang County, and 1 in Pyeonggang County. At present, professional institutions are searching, eliminating, and burning them up. Similar reports on leaflets are also reported in different other areas. The professional institutions are busy dealing with the work, and inconvenience of the people increases as regards the blockade of concerned areas. I think the situation that could be no longer be overlooked is created. I won't see this again. They should be ready for gruesome and horrible cost. In case the scum of the Republic of Korea continues to conduct crude and dirty acts, the change in our countermeasure will be inevitable." People moved into new houses at Dimok Farm in Xinjiang County, which has been changed wonderfully according to the intention of the party Central Committee to turn rural communities across the country into earthly paradise of the people. Agricultural workers were delighted at the new modern houses for hundreds of families surrounded with trees of good species. A meeting was held with the attendance of Kim Chul-min, Secretary of the South Hwanghae Provincial Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, officials and builders in the county, and agricultural workers to move into new houses. Permits for the use of the house were issued. A performance was given by the County Mobile Art Squad, and officials congratulated those who moved into the new houses. North Hamgyong Province is persistently pushing ahead with the work for implementing the party's policy on child care. It has fully furnished more than 250 rooms for dairy production with necessary equipment and produced tens of tons of milk powder and hundreds of tons of yogurt in recent 1 month alone. It strictly inspects the quality of the products while directing efforts to renovating the production processes and environment in order to send tasty and nutrient dairy products to the children. The cities and counties, including the city of Haeryong, Gyeongwon, and Hwade counties, have secured over 3,000 goats and milch cows and are increasing the production. Construction of goat farms was completed, thousands of natural grassland created, and further processing factories built in a short span of time in Orang and Yeongcheon counties. Jeju and Gyeongbuk counties newly created hundreds of hectares of pastures and are increasing their production while intensifying the exchange of information technology. Deep-sea fishing is encouraged in the DPRK. The Simple Deep-Sea Fishery Complex and the South Hamgyong Provincial Fishery Management Bureau concluded overhaul of fishing boats in a qualitative way ahead of schedule. Fishing boats departed for distant sea on the 14th. Song Chun-seok, Minister of Fishery, and officials and employees of the fishery field, including the Simple Deep-Sea Fishery Complex and their families, sought off the fishermen. Foreign organizations and personages of different tribes made public statements and articles on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the demise of the great leader Kim Il-sung. The Kuwaiti organizations, including the Kuwait DPRK Friendship Association, said in a joint statement that President Kim Il-sung rendered disinterested assistance to the peoples of Asian, African, and Latin American countries in their struggle for national liberation and the building of new society with noble internationalist obligation, though the situation of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea was difficult. The chairman of the Socialist Party of Romania, the chairman of the Supreme Council of the National Socialist Party, Romania, the central executive member of the Journalist Association of Myanmar, in their articles posted on internet homepages said, President Kim Il-sung remains alive in the hearts of the people, as his exploits are so great and immortal. They spoke highly of his sacred revolutionary life, precious achievements, and noble virtue. The General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Democratic Congo, the Chairman of the Bulgaria-Korea Friendship Association, the Chairman of the Bangladesh Group for the Study of Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism, the Chairman of the Thai Organization for the Study of the Tzu Idea, and the Chairman of the Venezuelan Group for the Study of Philosophy on the Tzu Idea, praised in their press statements the exploits performed by President Kim Il-sung, who left shining traces in the history of world politics. They stress that the DPRK is fighting under the leadership of Kim Jong-un for the establishment of multipolarized New World Order, defending peace and security of Northeast Asia and the world against the U.S. hegemonic attempt and unipolar world order. Puppet Yoon Suk-yeol and his clan, who have committed indelible crimes, are making last-ditch efforts to escape from the impeachment demanded by angry people. The number of national petitioners demanding the impeachment of Yoon Suk-yeol exceeded 1.4 million, and the impeachment is becoming a fait accompli. Feared by the situation, Yoon Suk-yeol refuses a hearing on impeachment at the National Assembly by instigating the People Power Party and even commits violence on the assemblymen. Furthermore, he instigates his clan to conduct a petition campaign against impeachment. His desperate efforts to remain in power against the people's will, however, further intensify the protest actions for his impeachment. The White House candidate rally and demonstration demanding impeachment of Puppet Yoon took place in Seoul on the 13th under the theme, Let's Turn Over Yoon Suk-yeol Quick, persisting in rough and tumble fight. Speakers at the rally abused that the People Power Party, which is in league with Yoon Suk-yeol, attempts in every way to calm down the people's demand for impeachment, insisting that it refuses hearing on impeachment, there is no discernible reason for impeachment and it should defend Yoon Suk-yeol. The participants marched in and around Seoul. The news that the number of national petitioners demanding impeachment of Puppet Yoon exceeded 1.4 million encouraged the protesters of all walks of life. Prior to the candidate rally, the National Emergency Action and opposition parties refusing the veto held a joint meeting and condemned the crimes of Puppet Yoon Suk-yeol, who aggravates war crisis with aggressive war exercises and military alliance with the United States and Japan. VOK News in Pyongyang.
Now we bring you the immortal masterpiece, Greeting the Sun Rising Over the Daedong River, written by the great leader Kim Jong-il in Jucha 49 or 1960.
Secret of Victory. The Korean War, provoked by the U.S. imperialists in the 1940s, left an unsolved riddle. Making a comparative analysis of the national part of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and the United States in those days, the territory was 78-1, the population 10-1, and the history of the foundation of the state 174 to 2 years. And it was impossible to compare the economic and military strength. Even the forces of 15 satellite states of the United States were hurled into the war. Literally, it was showdown between rifle and A-bomb. Nobody thought that the Korean people would win the war in view of the difference between the belligerent parties. Already at the beginning of the war, however, the situation of the war, whose result could be predicted, was reversed. At every stage of the war, the great leader Kim Il-sung and our victorious, iron-willed, brilliant commander put forward clear-cut strategic and tactical policies and original war methods, and with his outstanding art of command, overpowered the numerical and technical superiority of the enemy by dint of the political, ideological, and strategic and tactical superiority. War is a confrontation between the armed forces of the belligerent parties. Soldiers and military equipment constitute two main elements of the armed forces, but their role and significance in prosecuting a war are different. Kim Il-sung presented an original military idea and theory on regarding the soldiers as those in direct charge of the victory in the war and the decisive factor of its victory, and thoroughly applied them. It is a basic key to the war victory to create scientific and superb war methods, strategy and tactics, and ensure their supremacy. Kim Il-sung advanced original strategies and superb war methods suited to the topographical conditions of Korea, the military equipment and the characteristics of the modern warfare. For instance, the active defense strategy at the first stage of the war, which achieved the final victory on the front, was a unique one of Korean style. Defensive warfare was known as the fight based on dugout, trench, communication trench, and obstacles set up by engineers. Typically, the national line of France, known as a model of complete defensive position during the Second World War, had more than 5,000 permanent fire establishments along a total of 380-kilometer-long defense line. The positional defense strategy put forward by Kim Il-sung, however, called for building tunnel and other fortified defensive positions in conformity with the topography of Korea with a lot of mountains and defeating the enemy. In those days, Kim Il-sung also created a number of war methods for victory, such as tunnel tactics, aircraft hunting team movement, tank hunters team movement, intensive use of artillery fired in mountains, and mobile battery movement. Lecturer Lee Il-ju at the Korean Revolution Museum says,
전쟁에서의 승패는 영토의 크기나 무장장비의 효율 수준에 의해서
the outcome of the war was not decided by territory or modern arms and equipment. The victory in the Fatherland Liberation War was a victory of the outstanding military idea, future-oriented combat methods, and superb strategy and tactics of the great leader Kim Il-sung. It was a victory of patriotism and indomitable spirit of the Korean people who fought for the fatherland at the risk of their lives. The leadership of a great leader makes even a small country most powerful, and his outstanding idea and tactics are a fundamental factor capable of defeating any formidable enemy. This is the answer to the riddle given by the Korean War.
That was an account under the title Secret of Victory. This is Voice of Korea.
Here is the band music, song dedicated to Marshal Kim Il-sung.
Please listen to the song, Songs Resounding in My Country. Loud in my hurtful country are songs of Marshal Kim Jong-un, songs of admiration sung by the heart, feeling grateful for his love for the people. Songs of admiration resound in my country. Oh, the songs of our Marshal Kim Jong-un.
항상 내 나라 조국 강산이 오늘 고지에 멈추는 노래 이미를 하시시고 사랑하는 시상으로 부르는 흥모인 노래 일하기 소린 땅 끝까지 끝이 없어라 멈추는 노래 서서 찾아오고 찾아가시는 그의 어둠을 바라보는 노래
This time we present the orchestral music and male chorus. We'll travel one road forever, awarded Kim Jong-il Prize. The work profoundly represents the faith and will of the Korean people to vigorously advance only along the road of Juche Revolution forever under the leadership of the great Workers' Party of Korea.
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Europe between 15 and 16 hours UTC, between 18 and 19 hours UTC, between 21 and 22 hours UTC, and between 13 and 14 hours UTC on 13,760 kHz and 15,245 kHz. For North America, between 15 and 16 hours UTC and between 13 and 14 hours UTC on 9,435 kHz and 11,710 kHz. And for Northeast Asia, between 4 and 5 hours UTC and between 6 and 7 hours UTC on 7,220 kHz, 9,445 kHz and 9,730 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.